Hi everyone, hope you're all doing very well. So I just finished a therapy session and I wanted to talk about what I learned today. And there's been some key points that I wanted to share because um I think it will help people. Like I genuinely believe that it stories are made to be told, and sometimes some people will not like you doing these things. Like there are people out there that do not like me posting on social media and whatever. I'm still gonna do it. I don't care. So I put a video up a couple of days ago, and it's a video about me being in recovery from an eating disorder, and I was in a very, very vulnerable state, and I got reported. I laugh because it's so funny, and it's just the fact that like these people hate me that much that they do shit like this. To apparently, I was encouraging actually, and I was like, bitch, there's nothing to actually insight because no one wants to live with this. But there was something that my therapist said today. She says, you are very, very self aware. And not many people are self aware because they believe that they go through life in this little bubble, and that people who go through life being an arsehole to people typically have very little self awareness because their self esteem is that low that they feel that it's everybody else's fault but theirs. Whereas I am aware when I am at fault, and I'm aware of how I need to correct wrongs. So, anyways, we was talking about sort of the last 10 years, and it was kind of like the last two. So the way that I described it to my therapist was actually a way that she also spoke about it. She says that, for instance, she said, like, for instance, like if you're going to give an analogy of your mindset, what would that look like? And like in a situation with when you're experiencing something, like what would you use? What would your tools be? As well, it explains to my teenage daughter as well. If you go into a library, you've got rows of books, right? So you imagine that my brain is rows of books, and in those rows of books, you've got the trauma section. And because we've all got them, we've got the happy sections, we've got the sad sections, we've got the grief, that sort of thing. The trauma section, we all have one. Some people will only have a couple of books, and some have a row, and some have five. And my last 20 years, 25 years, I would say the most proportion of them they're on the shelf, they're closed, they've got dust all over them, and I've got no intention of picking those books up, blowing off the dust and reading them again. So it means I don't have any intention of going back into those moments. But the last 10 years are very raw still, because I'm still processing the last 10 years. So, for instance, I'm at that point now where I'm at the end of the book with the situation that happened to me before I met Ashley. Ashley met 6 years ago. 7 years ago, I was with somebody that lied about having cancer in order to cheat on me, and I lost his baby, and he was too busy talking to other women. And the trauma from losing a child, and also from the lies. Like, why would you lie about that? But here we are. I'm at the end of that book now. And I feel strong enough to say that I've put that book on the shelf, not to touch it again, because I have closure now. But I'm very open about it because it's horrible. It's a horrible situation to be in, to have gone through that. However, there are things that happened 6 years ago in the pregnancy of my daughter, who's going to be 5 in a couple of weeks. It's very raw for us, me and Ashley, because we went through a lot. And I was talking to the therapist, and I opened up about it, and I was talking about this midwife that caused the whole reason is because of this midwife, right? And I says, because of some midwife causing trouble between me and Ashley and other families too. She ended up I think she got struck off or she retired. It was one of the two. I got told two different stories. So eventually the whole situation happened where there are people that will not speak to me because of it. And the therapist I said to the therapist, oh, because of a midwife. And she said, yeah, but it's not really. It's their decision. They're unwillingness to resolve a situation is to push it under a rug and pretend it didn't happen. I says, yeah, but then it didn't happen like that. I says, then I was accused of stuff, and then this stuff happened, and that stuff happened. Me and Ashley spoke about that for the first time over the weekend. We sat and had a really in-depth, lengthy discussion about the impact that that's had on us as a relation, on our relationship. And we're in a position now where our book's ready to close too. My book on how it's impacted me is ready to close, and it's going to go on the shelf permanently, never to be touched again. And that felt bloody good. That felt bloody powerful, because 2-3 days ago, I'm thinking to myself, these bad things happen because I'm a bad person. These things happen because I'm horrible, whatever. But I'm not fucking horrible. I'm not horrible at all, because I'm self-aware. Self-aware people don't go around being an arsehole to people. They don't. Because I tell you for why. Because they're aware. Because they don't want you to hurt like you've hurt them. You know, self-aware people are the people that go around not hurting people. And if they do, it's never intentional. I'd never go around being an arsehole to people, you know, because I know what that's like. I've got a mouth on me. I'll say shit. But like, I would never go out of my way to be an absolute... Someone said to me the other day, go and egg their house. I don't want to go egg their house. Why would I do that? You know, my stalker's got a kid. I could have that person arrested now. But I've chosen not to, because they have a child. And I'm allowing them to do the right thing by being a good person to that child. And yeah, it's been a minute of talking about recovery and how it is possible. So I have to do a food diary. I have to do a mood diary. I have to do, oh God, I have so many diaries. But I have to put it on paper. And she said, there's nothing wrong with blogging. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with it. I said, yeah, but people don't like me doing it. She goes, who cares? It's not their life. It is your life. And so, yeah, it's my life. And I'm going to do it if I want to. And if you don't like it, you know where the door is. You don't like me, but you continue to watch my stuff. Bitch, you're a fan. Like, whether you like it or not, or you're stalking, or it's by the way, it's illegal. But I'm here for a reason. I've got a purpose. I'm very self-aware. Self-aware people want to make the best of their life by being the better version of themselves. You know, I want my kids to see that I've been through struggles, but I've overcome them. And I want them to, if they're going to go through struggles, which they probably will, undoubtedly they will, at least they can say that me and their dad have been a role model in their lives in that, you know. Ashley's overcome stuff. I am so proud of him. Oh my God, I am so proud of that man for the stuff that he's gone through and come out the other side. You know, because nobody else helped him, you know, and only realistically he could have done that. But I was like, nah, you need support for this. And he was like, yeah, I do. And, you know, pushing him through those boundaries, pushing him through those responsibilities of healing, he's come out of a different person. You know, he was writing a presentation last night and I fell asleep. I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep. I'm so tired at the minute. And when I read it back, I was like, you're going to boss that, you know. And we decided, like yesterday, I had to take my car in, just have it making a weird noise. And he booked the day off work and we had a day on our own because we were getting our daughter's birthday presents. That was nice. Like, just me and him having time on our own, that's been so beneficial to our relationship. It's just been incredible. And we don't have as much time for each other because we're both working, we've got kids, you know, we're busy all the time. He needs to do his stuff, I need to do my stuff. And occasionally we meet in the middle and go, you all right? You know, like, but I'm telling you, life is what you make of it. And if you acknowledge that you have flaws and faults that you need to heal from, which I know I do, that makes you self-aware, but it also makes you a fucking target. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that we're not the problem, and the way that people respond to our issues, the way that people respond to us as people, that's them. You can't control that. You have no control over how people deal with you. You have no control about how people respond to you. You only have control on how you go through life. Okay, so being self aware is crucial. Being self aware is something that you need to do, and being self aware will encourage others to do the same and be better people. Um, so yeah, that's all I got to say today. I'm going now because I've got to try and squeeze a nap in. I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm overly tired at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on with me. I have some health issues going on. I think there's something underlining because I am constantly tired. And I have got housework to do as well. So it's my day off. I'm at work tomorrow, so I've just got to get everything done today. So I hope you will have a very blessed day, whatever you're deciding to do. Just remember that you aren't a bad person, but if you go around being a bad person to other people, you might want to like check in with yourself. You're stalking people. You might want to get a hobby, you know. Um, and I'll just be here living my life because, therapy is very, very empowering, and it makes you realize that it's not you, it's just your defaults, and resetting those defaults and finding new ones. For me, not resorting to food as comfort as my friend, and actually looking at food as a life sustainer has been a total game changer. And yeah, we shall see what happens. So take care, guys. Have a brilliant, blessed day, whatever you're doing. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.